Rome and her legions have gone, but Britain has inherited one Roman possession which it was to make uniquely its own: Christianity. British Christians made quiet inroads into Scotland and the north, and the sea-washed rocks of Cornwall. But the Church of Rome sent Augustine to preach the Roman gospel to the heathen souls of Angleland. The old pagan gods fall down before the cross of Christ. The Christian rite appeared, and the embodiment of this spiritual conflict were the pagan King Penda and the Christian King Oswy, dark Mercia against the light of Northumbria. Henceforward, the issue is no longer whether the island shall be Christian or pagan, but whether the Roman or the Celtic view of Christianity shall prevail, wrote Churchill.
Tell our foe, your King Oswy of the Christish North, that I, Penda, King of Mid-England, his heathen dragon, say to him this: I, Penda, with all my thousands, these my kings and chieftains from Essex and East Anglia to the west of Wales with all their tens of thousands, and now also Oswy's own kinsman, Deira, with his thousands, broken from King Oswy's Christish northern kingdom to my side. All we have Oswy, penned in his holy tower with no hope of flight, and if he dare to put it to the sword, no hope for anything but slaughter and the loss of all his Christish kingdom.
What therefore do you, King Oswy, find in your heart to undertake to him, Penda, that he might let your hundreds go free, unharmed and unashamed?
Sir, what are you asking me? But to tell you again, we are here, besieged in the Abbey of Ripon. Your rebel nephew, Deira, with those others of your kingdom who have lapsed into heathendom and broken away, have closed behind us from the north. In the forest to the west, Cadwallon of Wales and his armies of druids. And from the south and east, the leader of them all, Penda, and his British kings have crossed the Windward River.
He asks me what I can undertake to do.
Militarily, nothing.
Stay with our reluctant hosts, all be starved and lose Northumbria. Give fight and be wiped out and lose Northumbria. Retreat and be pursued, cut down and lose Northumbria.
But of course, King Penda means there is a fourth course open you, which is not military.
To sue for peace. General, you of all of us will most know Penda's mind. If we do nothing, what will Penda do?
Wait. He can.
King Oswy asks, what kind of undertaking from him can you have in mind?
If Oswy would so suddenly make friendship with me, on his very eve of death, let him undertake to look to that march where his kingdom lie next alongside mine and never to step over. over. Tell him. Does he not know? Does he forget? In England, there are many kingdoms. His, the Christish North, Northumbria, he Romishly calls it, is but one kingdom. Mine, Mid-England, heathen Mercia, he calls it, is but one only in all these England's many. I have no wish. None of us here has any wish to fight Northumbria for fighting's sake. We are all of us brought here together by our fear of the spread and reach of this Northumbria. Let Oswy therefore swear by his Christish God never to set foot within our kingdoms unless as a guest or friend, nor his sons, nor his sons' sons, nor his daughters, nor his daughters' sons. Unless as guest or friend when they will be most welcome. By his Christish God let us we swear this, for I know he fears his God and loves his God. We shall gladly swear the same. I by my gods, whom also I fear. By Tew, who watches over me on the field of war. By Wayne, lord of all the gods, who wanders the world in the guise of a man, so that I willingly do ill to no man, for fear that man be he. By Thur the hammerer, and by our lady goddess Eastor, who makes the blossom bloom again on our trees in Lenten time. By these, I swear, and these kings by their goddesses and gods, these Celts of Wales by theirs, to let King Oswy's Christish northern kingdom be, if he will leave ours be.
I marvel at Lord Penda's talk of leaving be. Who went to war against our Christian cousin, the great King Edwin, and slew him at Doncaster? Who ravaged and wasted Edwin's great Northumbria, spreading murder and bloodshed north as far as the Roman Hadrian's wall? By whose hand was our Christian brother Oswald slain? To fault me in the simple matter of respecting borders sits ill on Penda's tongue. And does not Penda know as well as I that borders between us are not at all defined? Further, if Penda kill me tomorrow, as seems very likely to be the case, where shall our border with Mercia lie then? Yet I stand on a very poor ground from which to argue or to insist on anything, surrounded by darkness.
No, King, it is not an issue of borders between kingdom and kingdom, but of one greater kingdom. Tell him, it is not something we can expect to make much sense in his dark heart, but tell him, King Oswy of Northumbria is but the servant of a higher king.
Oh, Oswy, you grow more and more under the power spell of Rome. For this did the monks of Iona train you to be king.
Bishop Coleman?
Sir, Oswy inflexible risks Oswy us and all Northumbria. Risks Christ himself.
Never risks Christ, my Lord Bishop. While Rome stands, Christ can never be at risk.
Forgive me, Father Abbot. Rome's Christ may not. No, King. By time, agree for now with anything that Penda says. You have no choice. And remember, Penda is old and has no sure heir.
He's heathen! With heathens, no terms can be made.
With the heathen, no lasting terms, that is true. But when the wind blows, a wise man will shield his candle in his hand.
Save some Northumbria for Christ, however shrunken.
By nothing.
By time.
All my life as a man, I've known it would come to this. From when I first heard 60 years ago, men tell my father monks from Rome had set their foot on Kent. And all my father could say was, it is nothing. Men from Rome set foot on English earth. Oh, why will Rome not leave these islands be! Two bald-paid brothers, heads shaven, unalike. One apple from the Romish tree, one apple from the Celtish tree. You are?
Brother Cuthbert, sir.
Bennett, sir.
Well, Cuthbert, well, Bennett. Do you hope the dragon will be bought with jewels?
We come as we are told, sir.
You would both stand a cross in mid-England, would you not?
Our lord and king,
You!
sir. Aye, sir.
I would hope the people of Mercia would set up the cross themselves from the love they learn.
Bennett, does it weigh much with you how your brother Cuthbert's head be shaven?
Cuthbert's not my brother, sir. He's a bastard within the Christian family.
Cuthbert, how does this weigh with you?
Not at all, sir. Nor how Brother Bennett's head be shaven, nor anything else. Except that I be left to shave my own head as I choose.
It's not a matter of choice. It's an absolute matter. One Christ, one church.
Absolute. Now there's a Romish word.
That our heads be shaven on alike, sir, betokens a deeper cleft within the brotherhood of Christ. For all that, the heathen dragon is our greater foe.
Aye. Which of you will be my greater foe? King Oswy says he fights for an higher king. He goes to war for an higher kingdom. He says with scorn, I am too dark to understand that. But Cuthbert Bennett, the dragon, understands. His higher king is his one own self. So, one thing might this Oswy undertake that might weigh with me to let him and his hundreds go. One undertaking only. To banish from his kingdom all men of Rome. If Christish he must be, and why should he not? 'Tis of no weight with me what gods a man worships, let him remain Christish, but by his old Celtish way. And let nothing Romish in his kingdom live. The gifts I keep till Oswy answer.
It is an abominable demand, and not for one moment to be entertained.
Aye, not for love would Penda prefer the cross of Northumbria ringed with the disc of the Celtic sun.
Why then?
Because the heathen and the Celt make easier bedfellows.
That is monstrous.
My Lord Bishop Coleman, you yourself have often said, the Celtic way is the way of the reed. Bow to the heathen storm, survive, absorb the dragon and transmute him. But you will find Penda less digestible than you think.
God be thanked, Father Abbot St. Patrick in his hour of need was not blessed with an advisor like you. When Patrick looked from the hill of Slane toward Druid Tara and saw rise up the fire there of the Druid Feast of Spring, he did not ponder too long, but lit his Christian Easter fire as a challenge to it there and then, albeit Easter had not yet strictly come.
Aye, and your Irish calendar's been out of step with Christian Europe ever since.
But that pagan fire has now become a Christian fire in Ireland. It is a Roman England may find Penda indigestible.
My Lord Bishop, we do not deny that the Celts are full of the love of God. We do not deny that Christ smiles in Ireland, Wales, and on the Rock of Iona. The smile is a little crooked, that is all. Which might be tolerable if your honey-hearted hermit stayed on your hilltops and islands. But you transmigrate across all Christian Europe, exerting an influence out of all proportion to your numbers, accepting no authority, your hierarchy a chaos, no concept of administration, center, order, to say nothing of the fact that you everywhere lay down a seedbed for the seductive pseudo-doctrines of Pelagius.
No, Father Abbot. The argument from heresy is an excuse. Rome fears our Celtic mobility, just as old imperial Rome feared that of the Druid priests.
No general can lead till all his legions are in harmony and understand their battle goal alike.
Legions, battles, old Rome's language. Old Rome is dead.
Old Rome is dead, but a glorious ghost stands crowned upon her grave.
It is a matter of what Christ's church on earth concertly is, over and against what whispering offshore Celtic harp she heretically is not.
That I shave my pate differently from you, must that tar me with the Pelagian brush? I am born in sin, no less than you. No, Bennett. What matters to Rome is not our tonsure, nor yet the fact that we, in the tradition of David and Patrick, celebrate the resurrection on a Druid date, nor even that our ritual of baptism differs from the Pope's. What matters to the Pope is what mattered to Augustine, when after settling Kent he came blundering into Wales. That Christ smiles on in the Celtic West, while Rome and Europe were in darkness and ashes. In this matter of the Celts, Brother Bennett would do well to remember that all this island, Britain, was, not long since, a Celtic land. You, the Saxons, drove us west into hiddenness and dispossession. And now, we furnish in our church a fervent vessel for our ancestral hatred of the Saxon race. Not even a pope can begin to talk to a Celt until he understands that. Through ignorance of that, Augustine's mission to the Welsh church failed.
That Northumbria here has a king of the Celtic tradition is an accident of history. Who was the first Northumbrian king to be won for Christ?
Great Edwin, of course.
Converted by Paulinus, a man of Rome, sent by Augustine, no less.
Oh, yes. And very cleverly done. To send his man, Paulinus, to whisper in the defeated, banished prince's ear and pretend to be a ghost or vision.
Edwin. Prince Edwin of Northumbria. Banished Edwin. No weapons. I come in love. My weapons are words alone, the words of love. Oh, banished Edwin, retake Northumbria. Drive your usurper cousins out in this sign. And when you are king, remember this sign.
False vision or not, the fact remains. Retake Northumbria, Edwin did.
Yes. And now Augustine's masterstroke. King Edwin wants a dynastic marriage with the Kingdom of Kent. Only Kent is Christian, thanks to Kent's Frankish queen and Augustinus himself. So pagan Edwin receives, in marriage embassy, Kent's Christian daughter, complete with confessor. The monk Paulinus, old visitation himself. Who else? Only poor, dark, pagan Edwin has never expected a visitation to turn out to be a man, so does not recognize him. The marriage to take place on what conditions?
Lady, what your father Kent asks of us, we have well weighed. If I forswear my God so lightly, how can you trust my taking yours? Time we must have for further thinking. Meanwhile, be welcome.
And time he took, you can't deny that. He married without fulfilling that condition. No one can complain that pressure was brought to bear. And no one can dispute the truthfulness of Edwin's conversion when it came.
Of Mercia has sent this.
No. When Penda wants me dead, he will come to my kingdom and kill me himself. This is Wessex work. To win and thir, blast Wessex to ashes!
Those gods, Edwin, not those gods who brought you here.
A Thean's task, to put himself between his lord and death. Yet this man, between my Edwin's death and me, took on him Edwin's death.
As Christ has done. Christ has done.
Edwin! Edwin! A child is born to you. A girl, a royal princess.
And on the Feast of Resurrection, Edwin, his child, his thanes and priest, triumphantly and joyously baptized.
Northumbria won from darkness, yes. A triumph, yes. An occasion for rejoicing, I do not deny. But that baptism according to the Romish practice, and on an Easter day according to the Roman calendar.
Then Penda came.
Penda does not seriously propose I expunge the work and memory of Edwin and the Roman Paulinus. Penda touches, knows he touches, and means to touch upon a different memory. Penda knows I was converted by the Celtic Church and schooled in the tradition of Iona. Not beyond his heathen wit to know what that Celtic inheritance should mean to me because of my inestimable debt to Iona. And how cruelly I repaid it. When Edwin first came back, retook Northumbria, and drove my branch of the family out, I and my brothers went for refuge to the rock of Iona. We had heard there was some sort of sanctuary there. We are told on this island all men are safe.
Who give themselves to God, to whom this island is given.
Give ourselves to a god? We do not understand that.
A god of love. So loved the world, so sorrowed for it in its sin, that he sent his only son into this world, disguised as man.
Waiting? He walks this world disguised as a man. That's why we call him the Grim One, because he wears the mask of a man.
This son's name is Jesus. He took upon himself the burden of all human death, that men who know him may never die.
Never die?
Let me tell you something plainer. Another man, the man who made this island holy, came from across that sea.
From Ireland?
His home is called Derry, which means a grove of oak trees there. This man was proud and angry. One day, over the head of very little, he killed a man. He was in such sorrow for his murder that he tore himself away from the Derry he loved to come to this wildest, cruelest island he could find. To give himself to whatever is the opposite of anger and pride. Yet day after day, he knelt by this rock, feel on his face the spray from the wind and the sea of his beloved Derry, mingling with his tears. This was the name he took. It means a dove.
Brother Aidan, we do not wish to be in refuge from Northumbria forever.
Brother Oswy, God grant you come back into your kingdom of Northumbria again, with the smile of Christ.
Your youngest brother had gone. It was 15 years before we saw Northumbria again. The news came Edwin was dead. Penda had slain him and made a waste of all Northumbria. So into a wasted kingdom Oswald and I at last came home. And that same monk, Aidan, we sent for to be shepherd to our scattered people. Oswald said to Aidan, take for your monastery whatever site you choose. Aidan had already chosen the Rock of Lindisfarne, because to him it most resembled his Iona.
We are the one church. Wales, Ireland, Iona, Northumbria, David, Patrick, Colm, and Aidan. It was Aidan's book.
I saw him read it.
You? You've been a monk only 3 years. Aidan has been dead 4.
Not here I saw him. In Lammermuir. He did not know it was I with whom he spoke, nor I with him.
You speak in riddles, Brother Cuthbert.
I was a child, sir, in pagan darkness, helping my brother look after our father's sheep.
Well, lad, you're going that road, the wind might change.
That's what my mother says. And the wind changed my facial stick. What's the on?
It's a book.
What's book?
You read it.
What's read?
What do you call yourself? Your name?
Cuthbert, sir.
I grew. I became a man. One night the sound of singing woke me from my sleep. Voices not of the earth. Outside on the hill, from the sky above, I saw stars fall with sparks and tails of fire. I knew then, even in my heathen heart, some great and holy person must be dead. For the stars were angels come down to bring his soul up to his God again. I followed the angels singing, the falling fiery stars, till the sound and the fire were faded from the sky. All the day after I walked, the next night, the day after that. And so I came down into Northumbria. And by the roadsides, people wept.
Oh, why do you weep? I asked. And they said, great Aidan is dead. The shepherd of Northumbria is dead. The king has broke his heart.
Strange. How in this one night, on my very eve of death, this monk and Penda out there in the dark reach out to touch this one same sorrow in me. How had I broken Aidan's heart? Because Aidan searched the land, found that lost brother, and strove to convert him. But this third brother all that time was working underhand to take the kingdom of Northumbria himself. I had to weigh what I thought the greater cause against the lesser. A safe Northumbria united under Christ, against one heathen brother's soul unsaved. I chose Northumbria. I had that brother. When Aidan discovered, he said to me, did Iona take you, save you, school you for a kingship such as this, to send hired men to murder your own brother, him still in darkness? I said, kings cannot rule by love alone. Aidan stumbled from the palace. Men say they heard his heartstring break. Aidan knelt weeping in the boat for Lindisfarne a second time. They say the boatman heard his heartstring break. Aidan stumbled up the slipway to his monastery on the rock. They say a third time they heard his heartstring break. This much is true. Aidan never spoke to man again. In his cell on the rock, he turned his face to the wooden post and was dead before day. I murdered my brother to save Northumbria and lost us, Aidan. Well, now we pay the ultimate price, do we not? That murdered brother Sunday era be gone to Penda's side and half my kingdom with him. So we stand to lose Northumbria anyway.
Ours is the succession of the laying on of hands down from St. Peter.
The Celtic Easter is authorized by St. John and by Anatoly.
Do not forget at the gates of heaven if you get there. You'll find it is not Patrick, but Peter holding the keys.
Aye, and for this world also the question must someday be answered. Where does the wind blow, from Rome or from Armagh? But for us it makes very little difference, since through Oswy's folly, the work of Edwin and Paulinus with the Roman cross of Aidan Oswald Oswy, with our Celtic cross, stand in one night to be all undone.
General. Master. Let me go and speak with Penda. Not as a general of a Christian king, but who I am. Lord Penda. Another messenger from Oswy. Your son. Father?
What you have been sent to say, say it, go!
When I took the Christian faith, it was to marry Oswy's daughter for our Mercian kingdom's sake.
Our Mercia?
But you did not hate me then. You came to the marriage. Think of it. Penda the heathen at his own son's Christian marriage.
No Christish king would do the same for me. Nor would I say to any Christish king, if your son would marry my heathen daughter, let him first swear an oath by my gods.
You needed kinship with Oswy more than he needed it with you. Now, Mercia is all but surrounded by Christian kingdoms now. An island of darkness and advancing light.
And Christish Oswy is surrounded. By Mercia, Anglia, Wales, de Iris, thousands, now in a tower of stone. By sunset tomorrow, that Oswy shall die, and all Northumbria in him, shrunk to the 6 short feet of his dead length on the ground. I have killed kings, Wessex, who so ill-handled our daughter, or have you forgotten? Edwin, oh, look at Edwin, I often said, and see the shape of a one-king Christish England to come. A great king, Edwin. Was I glad to kill such a king? He came too near the dragon's breath, I cut him down. But was I glad? The Oswald, he drove me back south across Tyne, Humber, Don Derwent. Great king, Oswald. In whose Northumberland English, Pictish, Scottish, and Latin were spoken. And who himself gave of his wealth and gold to beggars, and with his mere touch healed the sick, and a great fighter. But when he had driven me almost into Wales, there his luck changed. His light left him. And at Maice Field near the Welsh Severn, with my own sword, I pinned him to a tree. I was 70, even then.
They call Maice Field, after the battle now, Oswald's Tree.
Names.
Father, we stand against each other in tomorrow's battle. And who knows, but we might not meet face to face. I either to kill you or to die by your hand. Now the thought is of shameful ugliness to me.
Then take off your cross and fight with me.
You speak as if I were torn between no more than king and king. I am torn between my father and my God. Father, your time is near. Tomorrow or no, your time is near.
You want to dip me in your Christish trough.
Baptize.
As Oswy another daughter, you will wed me too.
Father, think of a man taken prisoner in a war and made a slave. And for nothing at all but his being a prisoner, condemned to die. Now the time of the axe has come. His neck bows naked. The blade is raised when a voice cries, "Wait! I wish to buy this prisoner his life. How much silver will buy him back from the axe? Nothing, they cry. We are here to see a death." Then take my life, the stranger says, and let the prisoner go free.
Who is this slave? What is this prisonerhood? Who is this ransomer?
The slave is man. The ransomer is the prince of love. Our prisonerhood is our mortality.
Prisoner, mortality, Latin Empire words.
From the womb we are bound toward death. That is our shackle.
We die that have been alive. That is not a shackle, but an end.
No. To be baptized is to go down in the water of mock death. Feet, body, hands, and head. And stand again and say, "I live. The shackle of death is broken from me. I am born again, death-free."
To hide ourselves from our deathhood like children frightened of the dark. That makes us slaves.
Are you not frightened of the dark?
Tomorrow or no, I am very near it. I die and I'm ended. I become nothing beyond what rots in the earth, and very slowly I become the earth. Why should I be sorrowful for that?
I did not mention sorrow.
I die, I'm ended. Even the gods, the sun and moon, Dew, Wane, Thur, the Lady Frey, their time shall come. The day of the wolf shall come. His jaw shall swallow all. Mankind and God, all world and sky alike. An end. A nothingness of everything, dark as our winter, but with no hope of ever seeing Lenten light again.
The day of the wolf has come. Rome's token is the wolf.
Then suppose, Penda, we're in that tower. Have Oswy win tomorrow. Shall Oswy say these Mercian folk have their own gods? Let them hold to their gods. Let them still call their months by the names their fathers knew them. Yule, the month with two heads that ends and begins again on midwinter's shortest day. Sol Fildike, month of cakes. Easter, the time of the white blossom on the tree. Shall Oswy let that time of blossom still be called by the name our fathers brought with them from the Baltic Sea, the Lenten time? No. Oswy, will give the sun and moon new names. Oswy shall strike down Tew, Wain, and Thur from the sky. Oswy shall make Our Lady Frey barren, when even the Pope of Rome can find no better names for his months than those of heathen Rome. War God month, Earth Goddess month, Julius month, Augustus month.
You speak as though Oswy had already won.
And this coin that I have been the first to strike and is called Penny after me. Will it be enough for Oswy to have killed me? No. He will have this given a new Romish name, Dinar, perhaps, rather than let Penda live on men's lips.
You are afraid of nothingness. You too in your heart want to live forever. Some achieve this through great deeds, others through their sons, and their sons' sons. Others in the massive tombs of stone they build to be remembered. Now why are children afraid of the dark? When your wolf swallows all, shall he not swallow also Penda's name? Father, think of the life of a man. As on a winter's night, a sparrow might blow in through the door of the hall.
I've heard the sermon of the sparrow. Beyond the hall is night for us. Night. Night unending. I will not be a child. Hang hope on anything I cannot know. Only, when I go beyond, I must be ready for whatever awaits me there, and not let it astonish me too much.
To stay is death, which for ourselves will not matter so much. Fighting and dying are our trade. But for our hosts, these quiet brothers, whose lives are prayer and love, to attempt retreat will leave this monastery in the dragon's path. I see what one thing only we can do. Friends, God is great, and on earth, Rome is great. Though we perish, Rome lives on, eternal city.
Lord Penda! Lord Penda! Cadwallon of Wales and his druid thousands have forsaken you. And the camp of Deira also is empty. Deira and his northern thousands have forsaken you.
Why, who has failed one king will fail another.
If we perish today, it will be one step taken back. We are not Christ's only foothold in the land. Tomorrow, over our corpses, 2 steps shall be taken forward. I see these islands coming to slow birth, and birth was never bloodless. One nation she shall be, sure as the sunrise, clouded and blood red, never hindered, never stilled.
I do not fear Rome's God. Rome's God is Rome's, not Penda's God. I do not forbid any man his God. Not my son, nor even my daughter, their Christ is God. To each his God. Do I then fear for my gods?
I bind unto myself today the strong name of the Trinity. By invocation of the same, The 3 in 1, the 1 in 3. Christ be with me! Christ within me! Christ behind me! Christ before me!
Not gods I fight for on behalf of gods. Gods will die, kings cannot save them. If kings are doomed to die, the gods shall not save them.
King Oswald coming up from the tower!
The light is in the east. If this be the day of the wolf I see dawning, my warring is empty. It is the end of the world. Yet though it be the end of the world, still, war I must. A ring on the hilt of this, strength midway, fear on the tip of this for him that wins this. No man can make today other than today shall be. Still must a man make ready with his sword. And though today be the end of the world, more so, must Penda make ready his sword. The raven wheels above my head. Druids hide and live, but Penda and all his kings are slain. Penda, Penda's kings, and Penda's gods, all driven out onto those dark waters no living man can know. Yet now, I know.